Hi there. I'm going to try to give you a solution to the problem that you had presented to me, and I hope I understand what you're trying to say. I'll try to give a couple different solutions, and hopefully one of them will work for what you mean. So you had mentioned that you want to know the total length of time of instances in two rows. And I'm not sure if you mean, because you mentioned something about the overlapping command that you were using. Overlapping command it's better for the counting the instances. So like I'll use that for Interrater reliability over here. You can see if I'm calculating Interrater reliability, I'll do the count overlap. So I'll count, the instances where they do overlap. I think you probably could use it for what you're saying, but I think a simple solution for trying to combine two rows is to use the features built into Studio Code to do that. So say I wanted to look at the discussion student talking, you can see here, and then the overlapping, because really the student is talking during the overlapping. And I want to count up how much time those are all together. Now, in this case, there isn't going to be any kind of overlapping because they were mutually exclusive codes, but I can see other codes that you might do where they would have some overlap, per se. So what you could do, if you go to rows, so actually, instead of being on your code window, be on your timeline, and then you can say create new row, and you'll have a lot of solutions in here. You can name it whatever you'd like. So I might call it, just, student combined. And then this is where you can choose which two rows you want to combine and how you want to combine them with the operation in the middle. So you can you can combine them to form this new row. So if I was going to pick discussion student talks and overlapping discussion, now this picture here is going to show you what parts it's going to take into this new row. So A and B would be all the time of just the overlapping of the two. So that would create a row of just the length of overlapping instances. If I did A or B, that would be any amount of time that was in one or the other. So it wouldn't count the overlapping part twice. It would just count it would count the length total, and it would do this for all the instances. Then not A, you could the not is all the times where B is that A is not, if that makes sense. So those are three commands, and we use them, and they're the same types of commands that are used in like Excel programs. I think one of these solutions might be what you're looking for when it comes to combined. So say you wanted to just count the total length of time. I think you're saying in real time, like you wouldn't want to count this overlap twice. So I'm thinking you mean A or B, but I'm not exactly sure. So if I push create row now, if you look down here, student combined, they now have a new row of instances, and I can count. If I wrote a command now in my code window, I can just say count length instances where row equals student combined, and that would give me the length of all of these things, which is a combination of these two rows, which is one or the other. Does that make sense? Another solution, if you want just the total length of all the instances in these two rows, you could label these in your code window when you go to script. I think you can see in here, you can label some variables with that $sign, and you could just count. You could say, variable student talk, variable student, let's say, $sign student equals length instances where row equals discussion student talks. And then you could do another one that says $sign overlap equals length instances where row equals overlapping discussion. And then you can have it show down here when you actually show your output, show, $sign student plus $sign discussion. And that would actually calculate the sum of the two of them together. So that would give you the total amount of time for two rows. So hopefully one of those three things that I showed you would make sense. Either the and command, the or command, or just creating variables and adding the amounts of time together. So and each one of them are useful in different situations. So hopefully one of those is helpful for you. Let me know if it's not, and maybe I can answer your question better.